Kodak, the company that invented its own downfall. In 1888, a visionary named George Eastman revolutionized photography with a simple but powerful idea: to make it accessible to everyone. Thus, Kodak was born, the company that dominated the image market for over a century. "You press the button, we do the rest" was not just a slogan, it was a promise of simplicity in a world where capturing memories became an everyday occurrence. Kodak didn't just sell cameras and rolls of film. It sold moments, nostalgia, and a way to immortalize the personal history of millions of people. However, what seemed like an unbeatable empire collapsed in such a dramatic way that today it is studied in business schools as the perfect example of how a company can dig its own grave. Kodak's failure was not an accident or an inevitable tragedy, but the result of wrong decisions, arrogance, and a resistance to evolution. In 1975, a company engineer, Stephen Sasson, invented the world's first digital camera. His creation had the potential to completely transform the industry, but instead of embracing innovation, Kodak's executives buried it. Why? Fear. Kodak was a leader in the sale of film rolls, and digital photography threatened its core business. Why change something that was already making so much money? The irony is that Kodak not only had the technology, but also owned several of the key patents in digital photography. However, the company insisted on continuing to rely on film rolls, convinced that people would never stop using them. For Kodak, digital was a complement, not the future. Meanwhile, companies like Sony, Canon, and Nikon eagerly embraced the new digital age. The transition wasn't immediate, but when digital photography became accessible and high quality, consumers abandoned film rolls en masse. And when Kodak wanted to react, it was already too late. In 2012, the company that was once a giant filed for bankruptcy. Its downfall was not due to a lack of innovation, but rather an inability to accept change. They clung so tightly to their traditional business model that they didn't see the world moving on without them. The lesson is clear. No matter how big you are, if you resist the future, you'll become history. And this is where we can learn from Kodak's mistakes. How can large companies avoid a similar fate? First, it's important to understand that past success does not guarantee future success. Complacency is the enemy of progress. Companies like Apple, Amazon, and Tesla have thrived because they understand that innovation is not optional, it's a necessity. Second, listening to consumers is key. Kodak ignored market signals and underestimated people's desire for faster and more convenient technology. Companies that don't understand their audience are doomed to irrelevance. If you've enjoyed this video so far and find the story of Kodak interesting, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That helps us continue bringing quality content to you. Now, let's continue. Another important point is flexibility. Companies like Netflix started with a model completely different from the current one. Initially, they rented DVDs by mail, but when they saw the rise of streaming coming, they didn't hesitate to change their business. Today, they are leaders in digital entertainment. If Netflix had acted like Kodak and stuck to physical formats, they probably wouldn't exist anymore. The future of large companies will depend on their ability to adapt. We are entering an era where artificial intelligence, automation, and digitalization are completely changing the way we work and consume products. Companies like Google, Amazon, and Microsoft have shown that the key to survival is betting on constant innovation. It's not just about improving what already exists, but daring to imagine what has yet to be created. The companies that will lead the future are those that don't fear change, but embrace it with enthusiasm. Kodak had everything to become the queen of digital photography, but its fear of abandoning the past turned it into a shadow of what it once was. It's a reminder that in the world of business, it's not the strongest or the biggest that wins, but the one that adapts best. What do you think? Do you believe that any company today could make the same mistake Kodak did? Leave us your opinion in the comments. See you in the next video.